Jesús Paul es un exboxeador venezolano que nació el 6 de enero de 1965 en el estado Aragua. Paul se convirtió en peleador profesional en el año de 1985. Hizo sus primeros combates en Venezuela, pero luego se mudó a los Estados Unidos en el año 1987. Allí, en su 15ª pelea, ganó el campeonato del peso pluma del estado de California. En su pelea número 19 en el año de 1988, derrotó al futuro campeón mundial de la AMB y la OMB, Luis Espinosa, para ganar el título de la Federación Norteamericana de Boxeo. Después de defender con éxito su título ese mismo año, Paul obtuvo una oportunidad por el título mundial de la AMB en el año 1989. Sin embargo, fue noqueado en el 10º asalto de su pelea contra Juan José Estrada. Esta fue la primera derrota para Paul. Durante los siguientes 4 años, la carrera de Paul se vino en caída libre. Se convirtió en un oponente de trampolín para muchos boxeadores prometedores e incluso algunos futuros campeones mundiales, como Jesse James Leija, Jesús Salud, Kevin Kelly y Eddie Hobson. Paul finalmente se retira en el año de 1993 con un récord de 25 peleas ganadas, 11 perdidas, 3 empates, con un total de 4 knockouts. Disfrutemos ahora de la pelea de Jesús Paul contra Jesús Salud.
Let's see how he reacts tonight. Now, Paul's come out a little bit dry here so far. Doesn't really seem to be totally loose and shaken out.
We said that, say that about both men, actually. Salud also hasn't really broken a sweat.
And Paul already showing what he wants to try to do. Punch, move on angle, stay on the outside. Salud will have to get under that jab and then go inside.
Good nicknames tonight. Salud, the Hawaiian Punch. I like that.
And he goes back to Hawaii occasionally between fights, and the celebrations get bigger. After the fight against Zavala, he got mail from New Zealand. The fan had seen the fight and wanted his autograph and everything else.
Honolulu, actually, a very good boxing town. In fact, I'm surprised over the course of the years that we haven't been over there.
Wait long enough, we will be.
That's true. Nice right hand by Paul.
We caught Salud sort of studying this situation here. Salud debating, do you go right inside, go underneath and go to the body, or do you try to jab your way in and try to trap this guy?
Salud's last fight with Zavala, as we mentioned, which Salud won, he cut Zavala rather seriously. 1,500 punches between the two men in that fight. I don't expect we will see quite that many tonight. Nice right hand by Salud.
Well, these styles would discourage that many, but that fight was yet another advertisement for the lower weights. They produce so much more action often than the heavyweights.
And that time was Paul with the right hand lead, and Salud counter. Up and down by Salud.
At this point, he just wants to get into the flow of the fight, let his hands go. And if Paul makes that mistake later, as he did there, a lunging left hand, he won't get hit with one shot. He'll get hit with about 4.
I'm sure these first-round numbers are going to be greatly down from what we saw in the last fight of Salud's with Zavala.
Yeah, those guys were right on top of each other, and in this case here, Paul wants to be outside. That's where he'll do best in this fight.
Paul with an obvious reach advantage. Doesn't always come into play at these weights, but in this case, I think it's quite a difference. End of round 1, we'll be back. Salud throwing only 44 punches in the first round compared to the 90 that he threw against Zavala. And of course, the reason, as you pointed out, is Zavala was right in front of him, and Paul is not.
And Paul will try to do a lot more lateral movement. It would be to Paul's advantage not to see those numbers repeated. And I think what Salud has to do is get inside here and really pound the body no matter what it takes to get inside, even if he gets hit with a couple shots. Get in there and get those hands moving.
And here are the numbers we spoke of. Only 44 punches thrown and 19 connects for Salud. Now, Pol threw a lot more punches, but only connected on 3 more.
And a lot of you can see the looping punches. The tentative jab he throws out just to keep Salud off. Even if it doesn't land, it can be effective if it keeps Salud from throwing punches back. Salud lunging there.
Nice right hand by Salud, and that's where he wants Pol, right there. Got a right hand by Pol.
Salud trying to get underneath here and go to the body. If he slows Pol down, it's really his fight.
I wouldn't think Pol would want to be where he is right now.
No, kind of a strange tactic. But he may feel that at least one round of this fight he's got to prove that he won't be dominated inside in order for that movement to work on the outside.
A little low. And he draws the warning. Pol got much the better of that exchange. I beg your pardon, Salud got much the better of that exchange.
Good defense becoming offense for Salud. He picked off the jab and then landed one of his own. Fighters with big punching statistics are not always known for defense. A little bit of a subtle art.
And again, Pol fighting with his back to the ropes. More than you might expect. Now, he's not doing badly in there. That was a good right hand.
No, he's not, but it's hard to win fights from that part of the ring. The perception being that you're not doing anything to attack.
Jesse Reed wanting combinations out of Jesus Pol.
And a very subjective opinion that you're stronger than this guy. Pol only has 4 knockouts in 34 fights, but he has fought on the inside in the past.
Jesse Reed has joined us on headset now. Jesse, you made a comment in the corner to Jesus Pol that I thought was interesting, that he is stronger than Salud. Is that a pep talk, or do you really believe that?
No, I really believe that. The difference in weight is a big difference, and also in size. But the difference right now is confidence. That's the main thing. He's got to have the confidence to do it.
He's fighting with his back to the ropes a little bit more than I might have expected. Is that by design, Jess?
I want him to punch and move, not lean in so much and give his head away. He's got a good height advantage, and just try to use it. And punch with him, to stay with him when he's punching, to try to win the exchanges. But as you see, he's got a bad habit of bending over at his waist. He makes himself short.
Jesse, can he win the fight spending as much time on the ropes as he's shown so far?
I don't think so. I think he's got to be in and out and put punches together. He can't lay on the ropes and let this guy get off.
Jesse, thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome.
Jesse Reed, of course, in the corner of Jesus Pol, a man of candor. Interesting that Salud is doing more counterpunching than Pol in this fight.
He's bothered by the reach of Pol at this point. You know, when he wants to get inside, he's bothered on the way in by the active left hand of Pol. And, you know, you talk about the influence that Jesse Reed has on a fighter. He's elevated the confidence and performance level of Jesus Pol. Motivates him. You can win this fight. You have a style that can win this fight. Go out and do it. And they picked a good time to face a Salud because he would be naturally due for a letdown after the Zavala fight.
We should point out, and this is taking nothing away from Jesus Salud, but the cut in this Zavala fight, a serious cut over Zavala's eye, that I believe took something like 35 stitches. They had to go to a plastic surgeon to get it closed. Had a lot to do with that victory. This is our main event, Jesus Salud versus Jesus Pol. And right now, Pol is fighting Salud's fight.
daring Salud to try to beat him at that. And Salud has to get down under and go to the body heavy here. Pole tying him up and waiting for the intervention of the referee.
I hasten to point out that Pole is fighting Salud's fight and not fighting it badly.
No, because he's coming around the side with his punches, and there's a sort of a peekaboo defense, but he gets around it.
End of round 3. Again, a very close round. Remember, Salud is the hometown fighter. Back to San Diego after this. Right hand. Pole, however, not really listening to Jesse Reed. You might remember Jesse saying to him, I need 4-punch combinations. There hasn't been a lot of that.
Now, Pole is trying to frustrate Salud here and do a lot of movement, which is good, but he's got to do a lot more punching while he's moving here.
And here are the punches through 3 rounds. Pole has thrown more, Salud has landed more. That's the story of the fight.
Salud has put himself in a good position to make the most of his punching room. Now, Pole has slowed down the punch numbers in the fight, but he hasn't been altogether accurate because he's punching down, and he's not comfortable with that.
Take a look at your card, Dave. You have Salud by a point, close fight.
Yeah, Pole had the better in the first round, and Salud very subtly taking control in 2 and 3.
Come on, work in there, step around and punch.
And Pole is just awkward enough to be unpredictable. When Salud is right on him, Pole backs up, and you think he's going to stay there, then he throws a looping right hand and gets it in. Very unorthodox, and that's what makes him at times difficult to fight.
Nice right hand by Pole, but only 1 punch.
Step back and punch.
There's a good right hand by Salud.
And he threw more than the 1 shot because he was perfectly squared up and had cut the ring off and got more than 1 shot in. It's a nice sneaky right hand Salud has from in close. Only goes about a foot, but it crosses and it lands with good intentions and really some good impact.
And Pole in this round with a tendency to lean on Salud a little bit. I would think that serves Salud well with that short right hand.
Good for the short right hand, good for a little short uppercut in there on the inside too. And Jesse Reed does not want Salud leaning. He wants him straight up and getting that jab out there stiffly so he doesn't miss him.
In this round especially, Pole just throwing single punches. I'm sure the numbers at the end of this round are going to be a lot more unbalanced than they have been so far.
Well, Pole is content to be a nuisance in this fight stylistically, but he's got to change and think offensively to win the fight. Now, he's taken Salud out of his plan at times, but he needs one of his own.
And again, Pole fighting with his back to the ropes, and even though he's getting there more than Salud, Jesus Salud ready to come out to start the 5th round. Jesus Pole, and we'll see what kind of tactics Pole uses in this round.
Well, he's really having difficulty getting the jab home, which is key for him in this fight.
Abel Sanchez is on headsets with him. Now, give me a report card on your man so far, Abel.
He's doing basically what we worked on in the gym. We'd like to have him do a little more. Stay close to him so he can counter.
Is the fight that Pole's fighting surprising you at all? He seems to be fighting with his back to the ropes more than any of us thought.
No, we thought he was going to run. He actually is a lot more stationary than we anticipated, which is fine for Jesus. He just has to get a little busier.
It's looking like your man, though, is starting to turn the fight his way, really starting to take control of the fight.
Yes, I think at about the middle of the third is when Jesus Salud saw Pole a little, get a little tired. Here we go, that's it. Back up the middle.
Abel, thanks very much for taking the time. All right, Abel Sanchez, the trainer of Jesus Salud, obviously happy with what his charge is doing, and with good reason.
Yeah, they're making Pole miss over the top. Only 15% of the jabs for Pole, and Salud getting in there, being a small target, and starting to put combinations together, which they wanted. I thought it was interesting he expressed a little surprise that Pole was as close to Salud as he has been in this fight, not running as much, and they will take that anytime.
Makes their man look that much better.
a guy who runs will make a stinker of a fight stylistically. It's tough to look good against that type of a fighter. And here, they don't have to find Jesus Pole, and they thought that they would have to go find him.
But Jesus Pole just not yielding the advice, or heeding the advice, I should say, of Jesse Reed. He was throwing punches, one, maybe two, took a counter right hand that time as he got a lazy left of his own.
Salud has adjusted to Pole and getting inside more, but Pole has not adjusted to Salud being better on the inside than he was earlier.
Run the numbers, 4 and 5.
And he should be trying to throw uppercuts against the smaller fighter instead of trying to throw jabs that are going over the top. A good tactic is throw the jab over the top deliberately and then come up the middle with an uppercut.
And Salud making Pole throw punches inside, which is really not what he does best, not what he wants to do. You can almost see the way he throws his punches. He doesn't seem to be very comfortable. Nice uppercut there, and a right hand over the top, and that might have hurt Pole. Salud really starting to measure Pole now. Found a home for that uppercut also. Very good round. Maybe the best round of the fight for Jesus' corner. He asked Abel Sanchez, he said, am I losing?
Good observation on, on his part and trying to find out, because it's not the typical style he's used to. Awkward fighter, he wonders if he's doing enough. And he is now.
Through the first 5 rounds, you can see Pole still throwing more punches, but Salud is landing more punches, and that is what counts, folks.
And Salud outpunched him by a 2-to-1 ratio in the last round, starting to pick it up. And that's what his corner was getting to about let things go more, because they don't want this style to get away. It's such an ideal setup. They want to see their guy take advantage of it now.
And their guy is taking advantage of it on your card.
Salud really doing some good work in the last couple of rounds. And Pole not able to frustrate him as he was, say, in the first round.
Body and head. Body and head. Right back again. Right back again with a jab.
And right at the moment, Pole is doing a little bit of run.
And not effective movement here. Not only does it forbid a fighter from getting shots off, but it leaves a perception with the judges that you are a runner. And it's tough to overcome that in such a subjective area as scoring.
Nice left hand by Pole, but it did absolutely nothing.
And it did nothing because his legs are widely spread apart. He's punching from weird angles, trying to catch Salud off balance. And now he's getting hammered.
Yeah, nice left hand, and then a right hand behind it by Salud. Uppercut from long range, tough punch to throw.
Especially with nothing behind it.
Intimate gathering here at the sports arena. Although we were kidding earlier about a late arriving crowd, but in fact, it has been a few more people than we thought there would be when first we started tonight.
At least they did arrive.
That's true. This is one of those crowds that looked like it was going to be one where you'd have to introduce the crowd to the fighters.
They're waiting for the explosion that they saw against Zavala, but this style is not lending itself to that.
End of round 6, and things are settling into a routine for Jesus Salud. Coming out to start the 7th round, got a real pep talk from Jesse Reed saying you're on the edge of a cliff here, son, but you can still win the fight. But you got to throw punches in 4s and 5s.
Edge of the cliff. Pretty soon we'll see visual graphics in the corner from the trainer.
We'd see him on Monday Night Football, I'll tell you that. Look at the jabs through 6 rounds. And as you can see, Salud actually has more than Pole. You would think Pole would have more than Salud.
And that's his key. That's why he's not doing better in this fight, and that's why he's not getting the 4 or 5 punch combinations off, because he's not in a good position on the floor. Pole's style would work against some fighters. He'd be able to frustrate a few guys, get them out of their rhythm, make them lunge. But Salud just takes it, comes forward, and adjusts to it. And when a fighter can do that against a running type of an opponent, then that opponent's in trouble.
And you could also tell that Salud feels that Pole can't hurt him.
And he won't hurt him with these wide-angle shots thrown from left field, so to speak. It's so tough for Pole to win fights. Only the 4 knockouts in all those fights, as we mentioned. Opponents can exploit that. This is a night where, had Salud been up against somebody a little more powerful, he could be in some trouble.
Don't let him rest. Double the hook.
Pole really pawing with a lot of his punches and just seemingly unable to do what Jesse Reed exhorted him to do, and that is throw punches in 4 and 5, numbers of 4 and 5.
Well, some of the body work that Salud did is having an effect, taking a lot of the steam out of the punches of Pole, which weren't really big bombs to begin with. He's more of a stinging type puncher. He's got to get punches landed on sharp angles. And there he's leaning too much, as he was asked not to do also.
Hasn't been a fight that has lit the fire in this crowd here in San Diego. Very quiet.
And when you look beyond that, a strategic choice of opponents by Salud's management, probably figuring he could not rise to that level 2 times in a row, and got the opponent that they thought would fit the letdown.
Coming to the end of round 7, and Salud starting to pick the pace up and might have hurt Jesus Pole at the end of the 7th round.
He's really driving Pole off the mark now.
Jesse Reed actually thought that Pole won 2/3 of that last round, and basically said, go out and do what you did.
Well, he is turning into a salesman now. Motivational speech. If you figure in the long-term relationship between fighter and trainer, he's letting Pole know what's possible if he works. But there's no way that he's winning the fight now, or probably there's no way he's in it.
Punches in the 7th round. You can see what a difference there is in these two. So Pole, needless to say, not doing what Jesse Reed suggested.
He looks tired too, and that's why the connect percentage has gone way down. When a fighter's tired, the punches just are caught out there, no real purpose for them, and that's when the accuracy goes down.
Starting to get ugly so far as Jesus Pole is concerned on your card.
Salud's doing everything he has to win the fight, really walking through and getting shots into the body, and just with natural ability here starting to pull away.
Don't let him rest. Don't let him rest. Busy, son. Busy.
Pole is trying to throw punches while he's flat-footed and leaning forward. He's not really getting his whatever power he can into the shots. Whereas Salud is planted, waiting, and landing harder shots.
Salud starting to get there almost at will now. But because Pole is leaning in, he's there for Salud.
Salud's biggest problem now might be the shoulder of Pole.
And there was a right uppercut, and down goes Jesus Pole. And he's still on unsteady wheels.
They'd be doing Pole a favor to stop it. He's tired and a big target now to get hurt.
It was the uppercut that started him off. And another right hand. Still 35 seconds to go for Jesus Pole. And another right hand, flush on the chin. Drives Pole into the ropes. He's ready to go again. Spins out of there. Still 20 seconds to go. That's the second knockdown.
Oh, stop it now.
Remember, there is no 3 knockdown rule here.
You just stop it on principle.
They're going to let it go. He's got 7 seconds to get through the round. And another right hand drives him into the ropes. And Jesus Pole did get through the round. But better get a map. So we'll see how far this goes. We'll see if Jesus Salud just tries to jump right on Pole. Did. Through a right hand. It was grazing.
Well, Pole has a lot of energy early in the round, but then he's been fading. And that's his worst enemy here. That's why he can't stop the onslaught of Salud. The arms are down, he's tired, and Salud smells blood.
Salud had him down twice in the last round. It's a very lopsided fight. Pole will have to knock Salud out to win the fight. I question whether that's a possibility. Bottom line is, I don't think they'll go too far with this if Pole gets hurt again.
Well, Pole is on borrowed time now.
Right hand drives him into the ropes.
Quick turn by Salud, and he capitalized.
Nothing illegal at all about that.
He created that opening out of what looked like a routine slugfest on the inside. Not much happening. He turned Pole and then got some good punches off.
Right hand, a left hand behind it, and the other right was a little bit short. And Pole now really looking tired again.
Well, he's right for a couple shots, and he's trying his best to make something happen despite very long odds. And he's been game tonight. But just doesn't have the power, and he is vulnerable.
And he's really on rubbery legs right now once again. Even though there hasn't been any one punch that's made it that way, I think it's just an accumulation of just basic weariness.
And Salud, not with the same spring he had against Zavala. Hasn't done the job yet, but he's getting close.
Another right hand drives him backward. Won't go far, I can promise you that.
10 seconds, Pole. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
There was the uppercut again. That was very similar to the shot that put Pole down.
Tired, Pole. Uppercut.
Salud a bit tired here, really trying to weigh his shots. It's not like it.
I think Salud is looking for that uppercut. He almost had it there. Pole just got out of there. But it appears that Pole will survive the 9th round, and with it may possibly survive the fight.
Got his wad in round 8. Only had a slight punching edge in the 9th. That's why he could not put Pole away. Pole is hung in there. He's getting a lot of motivation and encouragement from his corner. He just wants to get through it. He's got a will to stay in here and get all the way through, and that's enabled him to stay here.
Trying to do some work. He started each of the last 2 rounds with a little bit of fire, but when a fighter's legs go, the rest of the body doesn't take long to follow. And here's the total numbers for the fight. You can see what Salud has done, and he starts to open Pole up again. And Pole simply has to get out of there.
Right uppercut by Salud, still effective. But it looks like he's loading up and aiming for that shot.
Yeah, as we mentioned last round, I think he definitely is.
And also the reach of Pole delays the punches a little bit. He's got to punch through it like he did there.
Right back, son. Right back there. Right back there. Work, son. Forward 5.
You saw what he was able to do when he turned Pole in the last round. He really could out-muscle him here, push him off, and then get his punching room. There is no need for Salud to study this.
Work your hands, son. Work your hands. Work your
There was a right hand and a left hand behind him. He drives Pole into the corner. And Pole is in big trouble again. Stumbles into the center of the ring, and a left hand puts him down. Still a long way to go, over a minute in the final round. And Paul will do well to finish the fight. Getting him, oh, there's the uppercut.
And he can't be missed by the left hook. His hands are down, he can't get them up there.
There it was, and there's a right hand that drives him into the ropes, and that's it. With 48 seconds left, there was no reason for him to take any more punishment, and the fight is over.
2 rounds too late.
So Jesus Salud finishes it with a flourish, a TKO in the 10th round. Back to wrap things up from San Diego after this.